Dear Sadguru, it is well known that desire is the cause of all sorrows and tension. But being a wife and a mother, being a wife and a mother, I can't get rid of these desires. I seek your valuable advice in this regard. Thank you.
Now, it's not because you're a wife, an intern, a mother, that your desires have come. If you were nobody's wife, probably you were desiring, when you were nobody's wife, you were desiring to be somebody's wife. Now that you're somebody's wife, you desire to have a child and become a mother. Now that you have a child, now you are saying, it is these two entities which is making me desire. It is not true. If you were nobody's nothing, even then your desire would still burn within you. Is that so? Yes or no? If you're nothing to nobody in the world, still your desire would burn, isn't it? So please don't think your desires are because of your child or your husband or your family or whatever. Anyway you would desire, because that's your nature. Now, you made a statement in the question that desire is the source of all misery. Desire is not the source of all misery. Unfulfilled desire is the source of all misery. Isn't it? Isn't it so? Desires fulfilled are the source of your joy. Unfulfilled desires is the source of your misery. Now, what to do with the desire? Shall we kill the desire? I know people have been teaching you such things. You must kill all your desires. Unless you destroy your desires, your misery will not go. These teachings have come to you, isn't it? Now, if you want to destroy all your desires, all you will have is, you will have a great desire to destroy all your desires. And you will remain eternally unfulfilled. I don't want any desires. Is this a desire? Is this a desire or no? Yes. So, if you try to play tricks with this, it's not going to work. Because desire is not desiring for anything in particular. The energy which you call as desire is not different from the energy that you call as life. If you want to move from point A to point B, you need a desire, isn't it? Now, what brought you here today? It is not your bus or car or something else, it is your desire which has brought you here today, isn't it? What is it that will take you home? It is your desire which will take you home. What is it that which will make you eat? It is your desire which will make you eat. So, what you call as desire is not any different from what you call as life. The life is desire. The very basis of your life is desire, isn't it? So if I tell you kill the desire, the only way is to hang yourself. There is really no other way. Now I want to die, that is also a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? So do not deceive yourself with these things. Desire is the very essence of your life. But at the same time, you also know that desire is an unending thing. If you fulfill one, the next one will be ready. If you fulfill that, the next one will be ready. It keeps you on all the time. And obviously, some desires will be unfulfilled, and those unfulfilled desires cause much misery to you. If you look at the desire, actually when we started, this is what we were looking at. We just did not use the word desire. There is something within you longing to be little more than what you are right now, isn't it? That is desire. So your desire's ultimate goal is unboundedness, the infinite nature. But because you're unaware, you are giving it an unconscious expression for the longing that is wanting to become unbounded. So you don't have to destroy your desire because you cannot. Can anybody destroy their desire? Is it possible? There is no way, because that's life. It is just that you have to make your desire into your conscious process. Right now it is functioning unconsciously, because right now your desires are not even about you. Please look at this. Right now you're living in Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Your neighbor has a big car. What is your desire? You want to have 2 cars like that. Now you don't know all these cars, you are living in a remote place and your neighbor has 1 big buffalo. What is your desire? You want to have 2 buffaloes like that. So your desire is just a reaction to the social situations in which you're living, isn't it? This is so because this longing to expand is finding unconscious expression. If you make your process of desiring into your conscious process, then desire is no more a problem. Desire is a wonderful vehicle which will take you places. Even if you want to reach the ultimate, you need a desire, isn't it? Yes or no? Anyway, the desire in you is longing for unboundedness, it is longing for unlimitedness, it is longing for the ultimate nature. You just have to bring awareness to it. If you bring awareness to your desiring process, it is a wonderful instrument. If it is finding unconscious expression, then it makes you run like madman. All the time it keeps you running endlessly. So, being a wife, being a mother, it's extremely important. Now that you're a mother, not a small responsibility. You brought another human being into this planet. Now, what kind of human being you produce is a very huge responsibility, isn't it? It is not just about reproduction. What kind of next generation you create is in your hands as a mother, isn't it? Yes? What kind of people are going to live on this planet in the next generation is decided by the mothers of today, isn't it? When such a responsibility you have, you cannot afford to live unconsciously. You must become conscious. Especially the woman must become conscious. It's very, very important.
What yoga practices you performed by which you got this kind of ecstatic and blissful experience?
I told you they were very simple and physical, nothing spiritual about it. But what you need to understand is, if something larger has to happen, it's very important that… See, right now what you consider as myself is just these 4 elements. Your physical body, your mind, your emotion and the life energy which makes these things happen. These are the 4 components which you call as myself, isn't it? If you want something bigger to happen, you must put these 4 things in proper alignment. So, all yoga is structured and designed to put these 4 dimensions in absolute alignment. So, these 4 dimensions of body, mind, emotion and energy means head, heart, hands and energy. Is there anybody here who's only head, not heart, not hands, not energy? You're a combination of these 4 things, isn't it? So you need these 4 basic yogas. There are only 4 yogas. They are known as Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga and Kriya Yoga. Gnana means if you employ your intelligence to reach your ultimate nature, it's called Gnana Yoga. If you employ your emotion to reach your ultimate nature, we call it Bhakti Yoga. If you employ your body to reach your ultimate nature or action, we call it Karma Yoga. If you transform your inner energies and reach your ultimate nature, it's called Kriya Yoga. These are the only 4 ways. But which one shall I take? There is no such choice, because you are a combination of all these 4. You have to employ them in right proportion. Now in this person, the head may be dominant, in that person, the heart may be dominant, in that person, the body may be dominant. Accordingly, a right mixture has to be done, otherwise it won't happen. There's a very beautiful story in the yogic lore. Are you okay for stories? On a certain day, 4 men were walking in the forest. One is a Gnana yogi, another is a Bhakti yogi, another is a Kriya yogi, another is a Karma yogi. Usually these 4 people can never be together because they can't stand each other. A Gnana yogi, who is you employing his intelligence, has great disdain for everybody. He thinks everybody is an utter fool, especially these bhakti people who are looking up and saying Ram Ram, he can't stand them at all. Yes? Yes or no? Bhakti people, they have sympathy for everyone. When God is here, instead of just holding his hand and walking all this hair splitting and nonsense, this yoga standing on your head, holding your breath, twisting your body, just utter nonsense. Just call for God's help and it will happen. Karma yogi thinks all these idiots are just lazy. To cover up their laziness, they've invented all these stupid yogas. Kriya yogi has absolute disdain for everybody because after all, the whole life is energy. If you don't transform the energy, where is the way? So these 4 people can never get along together. But today they were walking together. Suddenly, a rainstorm broke loose. So they started running, looking for shelter. Because the Bhakti yogi knows the geography of temples, he said, in this direction in the forest there's an ancient temple, let's go there and get some shelter. They all ran there. They know all the geography of temples in the country. So they ran and then they found the temple. The temple was in a dilapidated condition. Just the roof and 4 columns were there. There were no walls, all gone long ago. The storm became more and more severe and started lashing from every direction, so they went closer and closer. In the center of the temple there is a lingam or whatever is a symbol of Shiva. They had no other place to sit to escape the storm, so they just hugged the lingam and sat, all 4 of them. Not out of any love for God or anything, just to escape the storm. Suddenly God appeared. In all their 4 minds, the immediate question was, why now? So much yoga we did, so much sadhana we did, you did not come. Just now, when we're just trying to escape the storm, here you are, why? So God said, at last you 4 idiots got together. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. This is the biggest problem. If these 4 dimensions are not in alignment, nothing big can happen. You're trying to drive your car, one wheel pointed this way, one wheel pointed this way. You know what a torture you will be? That is the torture right now that you see in people. Their mind is this way, their heart is this way, their body is somewhere else, their energy is somewhere else. How do you expect them to travel smoothly to any destination for that matter? Yoga, what we are referring to as inner engineering, is just to align these 4 wheels in such a way that you travel smoothly. Right now, you're in the direction of hell, it doesn't matter. Once your car is going well, you can just make a U-turn in no time, isn't it? But you have this torture of a vehicle where 4 wheels are pointing in 4 different directions, which way will you go? You cannot go any way, you will just get sucked in and pushed by situations. Your direction is not decided by you, your direction is decided by the situations in which you live. That is the life of a slave, isn't it?
Dear Guruji, can you tell something about the Dhyanlingam temple?
Dhyanalinga? You heard about Dhyanalinga? No? Not at all? First of all, what is a linga? The word linga literally means the form. Why we are saying the form is, when this existence… Today, modern science is telling you the whole existence is just energy. Yes, the same energy. You know this? You know this or no? The modern science is proving to you beyond any doubt that The whole existence is just one energy manifesting itself in million different ways. Your religions, whichever religion you belong to, has always been insisting God is everywhere. Whether you say God is everywhere or everything is one energy, is it any different? Same reality? Is it so? When Einstein says E is equal to mc squared, he is just proving this to you, that the whole existence is just the same energy. He likes to call it E, we call it Ishvara. He likes to call him by the initial, we give him a name. But we are saying the same thing, isn't it? Now, linga means when the unmanifest energy begins to find manifestation, the first form that it takes is always a perfect ellipsoid. You know what's an ellipsoid? An ellipse, you know what's an ellipse? A three-dimensional ellipse is a ellipsoid. It is based on this that the linga making came. Linga means a perfect ellipsoid. In yoga, in the yogic sciences, we have always been aware that the first form is linga and the final form is also linga. If you raise into a certain pitch of meditation within you, before a point, when you come to a point where you are on the verge of dissolution, the final form that you take is also the form of an ellipsoid, which is a linga. So linga is seen as a doorway from both sides, from unmanifest to manifest and from manifest to unmanifest. The first and the last form in creation is linga. Today, modern cosmologists have taken pictures of various galaxies and they are saying, the core of every galaxy is an ellipsoid. Because the first form is always an ellipsoid and the final form is always also an ellipsoid. So this is what is known as a linga. Say, for example, this paper, you hold this paper in your hand, then you give it to me. I will hold it in my hands just for 10-20 seconds and give it back to you. You will see this piece of paper will feel different in your hands. I will energize this paper in such a way that it will feel very different in your hands. But within a few minutes, once again this will be just a piece of paper. You can energize any object, but once again it will become the same. But the form of a linga, if you make it with the right material, with proper understanding of what it is and energize it, it becomes a perennial storehouse of energy, where people can make use of it for their well-being in different levels. Dhyana linga is unique because it has all the 7 basic manifestations of life in it. It is like a live person. It is the energy body of a live person. Only the physical body is missing. Dhyanalinga temple is in 100% silence. There are no rituals, there are no pujas. You just sit there quietly. No belief system. If you simply sit there quietly, even if you do not know what is meditation, without a single instruction, you will become meditative. It is a very powerful space, it will shake you from the root of your spine. It is very powerful space. Even architecturally, it's quite a unique place in many ways. People from all religious groups, from various parts of the world come here because it's purely meditative space. It is like whoever you are, whatever you are, you can take in a seed of spiritual process into you without an instruction, just being in the space of the linga. There is a whole science as to how to create this. This was a science that was well understood and practiced in this culture, but it got disturbed when the bhakti movement swept the country. When bhaktas, earlier temples were built as a science, as a place that you can go, sit and make use of. If you do not know this, Indian temples have never been a place of prayer. Nobody leads the prayer. You are supposed to sit there for some time. Have they told you this traditionally? You go to the temple, you're required to sit there for some time. Is it so? Have they told you? No? They have told you. Because if you create certain parameters, the size and shape of the idol, the mudra that the idol holds, the mantras that you use for it, the size and shape of the sanctum sanctorium, the size and shape of the parikrama, all these things, if they're properly matched and created, it becomes a powerful field of energy. Morning, first thing in the morning, you have a bath, you go sit in the temple, then go out into the world. It is like a public battery charging place. And the traditions also say that once you are on a spiritual path, you need not go to the temple every day. Are you aware of this? A householder should go to the temple every day. A person on the spiritual path need not go to the temple every day because now he's got his own self-charging methods. If you don't have self-charging methods, there was a public charging place for you to charge yourself. But when the bhakta started building the temple, a devotee does not care for science. A devotee grows with just the strength of his emotion. His emotion is everything for him. When such people started building temples, they just started building it whichever way they like. Because a devotee is like a lover, he just wants to do whatever he feels like to his God. So they started building temples whichever way they like. Anybody who had a piece of stone and a chisel, they started making lingams, so they became too many. Otherwise, this is a very deep science of creating human well-being in a completely different dimension. Now that you asked this question, I would like to take this opportunity that if you have already not been there, you must visit this place. We are at the foothills of Velangiri Mountains, about 30 kilometers from Coimbatore. It's a place that you must experience in your life.